Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we're looking at a newish Axial. Oh, there we go. This is the Capra. This is the Mini Capra UTB18. This is the four-wheel steer version. We've already got a video on the non-four-wheel steer. If you want to check that out, we'll post it right over there. But this, we're going to go ahead and show you kind of the differences between the previous iteration and this new iteration. I love all of the licensed stuff they've got on here. Mickey Thompson wheels and tires, some licensed Mickey Thompson tires. These wheels are awesome looking. Like, they're really cool looking. Got King Shocks licensing for the blue guy here. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. And guys, it's four-wheel steer. So we'll dive into that. We'll check it out. Again, we'll show you the differences between this and the old version. Also, we're going to end up probably tearing this guy down and turning it into something really, really, really cool. But not in this video, so you'll have to find out. Just let's hang out. Let's go check it out. And yeah, we'll show you what it's all about. Alright guys, I'll give you one more look at the box here. You can always pause if you want to read anything in particular. Tons of good information. Talks about the portals, the adjustable shocks, the licensed tires, the four-link suspension. There you go, some of the four-wheel steer stuff. The interior tube chassis. It's got headlights, light bar, rock lights. The lights on this thing are absolutely bonkers. Pretty awesome. You can kind of see them here already. Headlights, rock lights, light bar. Very cool. Yeah. Yep. Alright, let's get it open. So we are waiting on this guy so that we can do a build using another upgrade brand and well, a couple other upgrade brands. It's gonna be a deluxe fab build, I'll tell you right now. So we're gonna do some deluxe fab upgrades. It's gonna be awesome. And oh man, I don't know. I like this livery. I like the way they look stock, man. Like, they just look so cool. They look so cool. And we'll probably end up doing another build using the stock stuff. Once we build the deluxe fab, figure out what we've got left over, and then maybe we'll piece back together the original here. I like them too much. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy out of here. Man, such a good improvement on just the overall aesthetic, just by adding these wheels compared to the original wheels. Definitely dig that. I also really dig these tires. Again, Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X's. Freaking sweet. Got these servos on here. These are definitely, I'm pretty sure these are different than the original servo that was on the original. So that's cool. Oh, yeah. We also got that new Spectrum Smart battery. This guy here, where they don't have a balance plug. They basically just plug into the smart charger or your USB that's included with this guy, and you're good to go. It'll auto balance and do all the things it needs to do. Make sure the LiPo stays safe. I'd highly recommend getting a hobby grade charger. You can pick up one of the Spectrum Smart chargers for fairly cheap. Anything is better than the USB charger, in my opinion, if you're going to be using a lot. USB charger is great if you're on the go or you have no other chargers. Maybe this is your first RC car. This is totally fine, totally usable. But I would still recommend at some point getting up to a hobby grade charger just so you can see your voltages and start to learn about that part of the hobby. Understanding your voltages and your resistance and all the different stuff like that. Making sure things stay in balance and storage charge, all that kind of stuff. You need to have a hobby grade charger to be able to do that. So something to keep in mind. If you're looking at a new RC and want to snag up a new charger along the way, it's probably not a bad idea. All right. Well, that's nice. They include an adapter here, it looks like, so that you can use this battery in the old cars, or if you want to use it to also help. Well, you don't have a balance cable here, so you can't exactly just charge it on your traditional charger. Some people say you can, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing or not. I do love that the smaller scale RTRs from Horizon and Axial come with AA. That way you can literally just pop everything in, throw them in the remote, and drive it. Like, we literally can just buy it, go to the rocks, and run it. Don't have to do anything. Maybe charge the battery. You might want to charge up the battery on your drive up, but yeah, very cool that they are true RTRs. Thank you, Axial. And then here's our awesome manual here. All the exploded views, everything you need to know about the rig. Definitely look through this if you aren't familiar with this rig, and I'm sure you will learn something. Capra 4-wheel steer, UTB18. Also, there you go. You can scan that, get some information there. And we got this little Smart G2 technology card talking about the smart technology chargers. You can probably scan this guy right there if you want to get more information. And yeah, good info there. Let's throw these batteries in here. Let's turn this guy on. I want to show you those lights. Woohoo! Look at that. Very cool. I love it. All right, so let's walk through this guy just a little bit. First off, we've got our SLT3 transmitter. It's a Spectrum transmitter. We've got our 50, 75, and 100 throttle limiter. So this is if you really want to slow it down, you can put it down on 50%, and your max throttle will now be 50%. You're also going to have a little bit more low end, I guess. It's not going to be quite as, maybe not low end on the truck, but like less sensitivity in your throttle a little bit. More than anything, it's just really going to help reduce your top end if you hand it off to a kid or something along those lines. I would personally just leave it on 100. Next, we've got our throttle reverse. So you can flip that, and then forward will go backwards. And backwards will go forward, just in case you swap motors or need to change things. That's an option. And then same with steering reverse here. If you flip your steering reverse, it'll just be opposite now. Okay. Next, we've got our steering rate. That makes sure that our steering is all the way up, or we can turn it down so that it's not going to put stress on our servo if we wanted to. Generally on these guys, it's okay to leave it all the way up. We also have our throttle trim, so you can adjust that. If for some reason you need to adjust your trim, you can hear it kind of giving throttle there. Oh, that's our lowest. Okay, and then you can throttle trim it back if you need to. Okay, and then same with our steering trim. If for some reason you're not steering straight, you can adjust your trim. Now, interesting, this is only adjusting our front trim. I wonder if there's a way to adjust our rear trim. We'll have to look into that. Our switch here, A and B, that's going to change our steering. So all the way up is going to be mirrored steer. Down one is going to be front, and then down again is going to be crab walk. So it's basically center, up, and down. Okay. Pretty straightforward transmitter. Just want to see if we can figure out if there's a way to get trim on our rear. You can set your endpoints with this for your steering, at least the front. I don't know, again, don't know about the back yet, as well as your throttle. So the way you're going to do that is you turn off your remote. You're going to turn all the way to the right and brake, and then turn on your remote. So I'm full brake, full right, okay? And we're going to turn the transmitter on. It's going to blink a bunch. We let go. Now we're going to be able to set our endpoints. And you're basically going to do that by turning the direction you want to go and then using your up and down here, your A and your B, to adjust that endpoint. It's not quite the same as dual rate, and it actually adjusts the throw of the servo for that specific direction. So you can see we still have full throw that way, but this way we're very limited. See that? And we can actually limit it a lot, but then have full throw this way. Okay, and then we could go that way, and we could also limit this guy all the way down and have very little left and right. Now you're going to want to max that, and you're going to want to put it to where it's basically equal on both sides, and so that you're not going to be throwing the servo too far and pushing it to its limit. So let's go ahead and turn this guy all the way up till we look like we're about where we want to be. Yeah. See how we can keep pushing the servo, but the steering stops right about there. So we don't want to do that. That's too far. So let's go ahead and bring this guy back a little bit, and then we'll go the other direction. Max this out until it's, about too far. Drop it back a little. And there we go. And we can see if we're balanced, just kind of pay attention to where the tires are going into the chassis. Just about perfect there. So that's how you can do that. You then save by turning off the remote, turn it back on, and now we should be saved. Okay, you can do the same thing for your throttle. Let's make sure we're not touching anything here. But you should be able to turn it off, turn to the right, give it reverse, turn it on, we're in blinky, let it go, and now we should be able to give it full throttle. And when we do, we can adjust the endpoints with this. So we can turn it down, see, till it's pretty much off. Go all the way up, and then same with reverse. We can turn it down if we want to have a slower reverse, right? So if we want to go reverse at 50%, and now we have full forward, 50% reverse. Okay? So that's cool. We're actually going to turn our reverse down just the tiniest bit. There we go. Just a little. And once it stops blinking, you know you're at your max. Okay, so and we're at max. All right, very cool. All right, we'll shut it off, turn it back on, and there you go. That's how you do your endpoints. Now again, all this on the rear servo, I'm not sure. I haven't found anything yet. And last, if you ever need to rebind, it's right here in your manual. It shows you how to bind. Looks like you just triple press the bind button on the receiver. You can pause and read that if you'd like. Also, there's some more information. And actually, here's the ESC and transmitter calibration. If for some reason you're having issues, it feels like you don't have a center or things are going weird and you can't trim it out or do your endpoints, that's how you'd reset. Seems pretty simple. And then our jumper selection, if for some reason you're going to run nickel metals versus lipo. This basically gives you a low voltage cutoff on lipo, which is what we want. But if you're running nickel metal, you can drain them, or you want to drain them all the way down. So if you ever switch, there you go. All right. There's some more information there. Just standard maintenance. Make sure you do those things. And we're going to go ahead and go through and check this thing out now. We're not going to go too deep. Like I said, we've got the UTB, the first version, and if you want to check it out, we've got that over there. But yeah, we'll pull a wheel off. See, we've got these extra hexes here. I'm not sure. Maybe these are a little wider. Not totally sure there. We'll check it out. And yeah, then we'll probably go run it here. And then we're going to get ready to do our full build using that Deluxe Fab stuff that we got waiting. So I guess just starting with the electronics in here, we do have a brushed motor. It's a 380 37 turn, and they're pretty good. They're in the same thing that's in the other ones. There are a lot of different upgrade options if you want to go brushless though. FearTech is one of them. Hobby Wing also just released a Mini 16 for this guy. And there's a few others out there as well. The servos are the S664, both on the front and the rear. And these guys are full waterproof servos. They operate from 6 volts up to 7.4 volts. They're on a 25 tooth spline, and they have 226 ounce-inches of torque at 6 volts and 260 ounce-inches of torque at 7.4 volts. They're all Metal Gear. These are no joke servos, pretty good servos. They're basically 10th scale servos in this, what they're calling an 18th scale. Now, if you know my channel, you know we've gone over the scale of this guy. It's really not 18th scale. It's much closer to a 1/14th scale. If you're comparing it to the 1/10th scale Capra, you scale it from that, it's going to be 113.8 actually. And we can do some size comparisons just to show you compared to some other 18 scales and 24 scales. But this is a much larger vehicle than pretty much every other 18 scale out there. I would call it a 1/14 scale. But it does come with these large scale servos, which is a benefit of this larger truck. And this truck's going to handle a lot closer to a 10th scale than it would an 18th or 24 scale due to its size. So that's pretty awesome. I mentioned that 25 tooth spline count. Looks like we have some, I believe these are adapters for different servo horns. 25 tooth to probably some other tooth count there if you end up using a different servo horn. Alrighty, let's go ahead and look at the bottom side. We have all metal universals or CVDs. right in there. These are actually CVDs, right? Yeah, CVDs there. And then CVDs also in our drive shafts. Those are metal down in there, even though the drive shaft itself is plastic. The actual joint is all metal, front and rear on those portal housings, all metal gears, obviously, in the portals, all metal gears in the transmission. I like that we have metal links on the bottom with the plastic links on the uppers. Very cool. The only downside to the plastic links is there's no adjustability. If you wanted to adjust just a little bit, be able to adjust the output on your axle and kind of have it point up or down. Not that you really need to adjust it. I think everything's pretty good out of the box here, but having adjustable links is always nice. But at least our rears are, so that's good. Our steering link and drag link, that's all plastic here, not adjustable. If you ever needed to adjust it for tow for some reason, you would definitely have to swap that out. Our shocks are all plastic shocks, but they are oil filled and they are adjustable, so you can preload them if you need to preload, which is nice. And you know, a lot of times the stock plastic shocks are very smooth. So, and these feel very smooth. So I'm definitely good with that. I am noticing that this rear servo actually just barely hits on our chassis right there. And this is where having adjustable links would be nice, because if you had adjustable upper link, you could literally just put another millimeter on each end, millimeter on the bottom, stretch this out maybe 1 or 2 millimeters, and then you would have a little bit more clearance right there where that servo is hitting. Although we're almost pretty much bottomed out on our shocks anyway. There are some bump stops in there. You could remove those if you wanted to have more travel in your shock, more compression. You could probably pull those out. Same with the front right there. You've got some bump stops in there. I am loving these tires. They're 1.6 inches by 3.85 inches, and they're on a 1.55 inch wheel. They're just so cool how scale they are. They even got that Mickey Thompson logo right there. They're directional. I mentioned that. Where's it at? Little arrows that point the directions. All that. I mean, look at that detail, guys. I mean, it's literally like a small version. It's got every detail the big version has. Freaking cool. These wheels look fantastic. They're true bead locks. They're not glue-ons, so I love that as well. You can see we have 6 screws holding those bead locks together. Fantastic job on these wheels and tires. Axial, you guys knocked it out of the park with these. So good. I love it. The previous one, the wheels and tires were okay, but this is just the next level. So very cool. We did like the original tires enough to cut them off the original glued wheels and put them on some 1.9s, and I'll show those later. But yeah, very cool. What else we got? We're going to pull this hub off, or this wheel off, and check the hub here. So I'm curious if these are wider or what's going on there. Yes, they are much wider, the stock ones. That means these guys are going to be a little bit more narrow. Look at that. Boom. So I wonder if there's clearance if we wanted to run this smaller guy here. Oh yeah, you got plenty of clearance. So if you wanted to narrow up your wheelbase, you definitely could. Let's go ahead and measure these out. That way you know how much you'd be narrowing it by. All right, so the stock ones, these big fatties, we're looking at 10.5 millimeters. And the ones that come with are going to be basically 7.5 millimeters. So it's going to be a 3 millimeter difference on each side. So you can narrow it up by 6 millimeters. That is super cool. I love that they did that they included that. And I'm not sure if the original Capra came with that wide of hexes there. I think it probably came with these, because I don't remember it being that wide. We might have to go grab our Capra and see where we're at. Now, both of our Capras are kind of modified, so it's going to be hard to tell exactly, but maybe we can tell. And there we go. Some stock axles on our Hard Park Dementor XL build. I just wanted to also point out, these Curry axles are awesome looking. They're also branded Curry, the stock axles. So that is super cool. But yes, the hexes that came on the original Capra are the smaller of the 2 hexes. So they're going to be a little bit more narrow if you're stock. This guy, however, you can see we've got some stock tires that we cut and put on some 1.9s. And these 1.9s are offset. They're super deep dish. And so they definitely have made this truck very wide. I will go ahead and compare here in just a second. So you can see here just how wide this ended up pushing it out. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but there you go. It's actually pretty wide there. Now these are pretty narrow. Again, these are the stock tires that the original came with, and now this new one comes with a much wider, fattier tire, which is super cool. But yeah, so they're about the same when it comes to actual width here, but a narrower tire pushed out because of the wheel. And that's even with these guys having that offset. This truck here is also on 1.9s. These are some Punk's 3D custom wheels. Punk makes some awesome wheels. Totally cool inserts, standoffs, all that stuff. Very cool. Definitely check those out. We have a video on those as well. But those are 1.9s, and these guys are on the Crawler TAs, BF Goodrich Crawler TAs. And yeah, they're on the purple compound, or blue compound, excuse me. These are class zeros. Anyway, so this guy, you know, we're gonna have the same length because we're pretty much stocked links on there, but that width, again, you can just see the new truck is just going to be much, much wider, especially with the big fatty tires on it. Okay. Now, I wonder if they gave us that extra offset with the hex hub to help with this, get a little extra clearing for the steering. A little extra clearance for the steering. My guess is that's part of it. Plus, it just makes it a little bit more aggressive and even more stable. As long as you're able to hit the gates you need to if you're comping, and if you're not comping and just having fun, then wider is almost always better, especially if you're trying to hang with the 10 scales. All right, guys. Man, yeah, look at these wheels. How good are they? Let me give us the original wheel. Here's the regular non-rear steer Capra wheel and tire, totally stock. They are vented. These guys are vented too, but look how narrow it is in comparison. Look at that. Crazy. And the diameter, not too much smaller, but just a little smaller. Nothing crazy, but yeah, tad smaller, but definitely more narrow. And again, come on, look at the wheel upgrade. So good, so good. These wheels look decent. I like the colored beadlock, simulated beadlock, but again, they're glue-ons, and I hate that. That's why we had to cut ours and go with the 1.9 wheels. Very easy. I also have a video on that if you want to check it out. But we were basically able to cut these out, throw them in a 1.9. Now we have a little bit better sidewall, you know, stiffer sidewall for the most part. Could put some foam. I think we stretched the stock foams, if I remember right. I don't remember, but there's definitely foams in there. Yeah. So I think that's about it. I think we can go run this guy. Well, there's our Spectrum receiver. The old ones actually were 2-in-1s, if I remember right. They used a 2-in-1 combo ESC receiver. Did not like that. So this is better for sure that they've got the external receiver and ESCs in the back here. You can see that orange in there, but that's the ESC, and there's our receiver. I definitely dig that they did that. So now you can throw a brushless system in here using that stock receiver and transmitter, and you're good to go. You don't have to swap out all your electronics just to go brushless on this guy. All right, I think we're done. I think we're good here. Let's go run this guy. I want to get out there and drive it. So I'm sure you guys want to see it drive too. It's going to be awesome. And then after this video, I'm going to get started on that deluxe fab stuff. Boom. It's been waiting and waiting and waiting, but a whole bunch of deluxe fab, a whole new chassis. Actually, it's been waiting so long, I don't even remember what's in here, guys, but there's a lot. There's a lot of upgrades for this guy right here, and I'm excited to show it off. But let's wrap this guy up. Let's go drive it a little bit. I'll give you my final thoughts, and then make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when that deluxe fab video goes up, because I know you're going to want to see it. I know you're going to want to see it.
On the trail where the rocks get mean, here comes the mini Capra, a four-wheel dream. Rear stick kicking, making sharp turns tight. This crawler owns the mountain day or night. With Mickey tops and wheels, it's the king of the climb. Baja Pro X tires grip the earth just fine. Small in size, what you got. Four-wheel steer, hitting every rock. Mickey Thompson grip, never gonna slide. Baja Pro X tires, take the ride. Oh, UTB18, king of the crawl. The king, tackling the trails, conquering it all. King. Twisting and turning through the rugged terrain, this little beast delivers again and again. Locked and loaded, it's built for the fight. Mini Capra's taking the win, alright. With Mickey Thompson wheels, it's the king of the climb. Baja Pro X tires grip the earth just fine. Small in size, but it's big on might. Mini Capra rolls the trail just right. Mini Capra, show 'em what you got. Four-wheel steer, hitting every rock. Mickey Thompson grip, never gonna slide. Baja Pro X tires, take the ride. Oh, Mini Capra, king of the crawl. Tackling the trails, conquering it all. Steep inclines and those rocky climbs, this UTB's beastly and blowing your mind. Rear steer precision, making moves so clean. It's the best little crawler that you've ever seen. Mini Capra, show 'em what you got. Four-wheel steer, hitting every rock. Mickey Thompson grip, never gonna slide. Baja Pro X tires, take the ride. Oh, Mini Capra, king of the crawl. Tackling the trails, conquering it all. So if you see it coming, just step aside. This Mini Cap's taking a rocky ride. It's small but mighty, the ultimate dream. Axial's UTB18, the trail's true king.
Let's see if we can hit this. Really? All the way down there. There's no way. Needs more, little bit more, I think we need to gear it down a little bit. It's a little too jumpy, That's okay though. It's fun. That's the important thing, is it's super fun. And the four-wheel steer makes it crazy fun for sure. You can see some of the lines. I was able to like kind of pull myself across with the crab walk. Pretty cool. Definitely excited to get this thing over to the Deluxe Fab stuff. Put a brushless in it. It'll be killer then. Absolutely killer. Oh, it's still down there. Here it is. Ugh, here we go. Again, right now, after driving it, I forget how the stock ones feel because all my other ones are brushless, but it doesn't have very good low-end modulation. It's just like you have to give it too much throttle before it starts to go, and it really just kind of jumps. It's hard to slow crawl with it for sure. It's almost like a rock bouncer, kind of. It would be much better as a rock bouncer. I mean, you can, we'll bring it around. Oh, hopefully don't roll over. Here we go. But you can see, I mean, it'll rip. It's fast. And I'm pretty far away, but it definitely lacks that low-end resolution. I don't know. I feel like the original ones really weren't that bad. I think these tires might be bigger, and that might be attributing to it because that final gear ratio is it's just too much, too high. But when you really try to, like I'll even use the trim here. Like, That's as slow as you're getting, right? Oh, wait, why are we? Oh, did it again. Oh, well, we're durability testing, that's for sure. That was actually a way harder hit than the first one, just because the angle it hit at, but I think we're good. Super solid. The only weak point I've ever experienced on these guys ever is the CVD axle right in there. But that's it. And that's like pushing it really hard. So, I mean, every other part of this thing is just rock solid. Oh yeah, we're good. We are good. Four-wheel steer mini Capra. So fun, so good. I'm going to love building this guy with all the deluxe fab stuff and the upgrades we're going to do to it. It's going to be awesome. These servos seem to work just great. They're fantastic servos. Everything on this thing has been awesome. The only complaint I have, and I don't know if it's because of the tire diameter, maybe the tire diameter is playing a lot in that final driver. I think I mentioned that while we were out crawling, but it feels like we need some better low-end torque, better low-end modulation. It's like you're giving it throttle and it's all of a sudden it just goes. And definitely not good at slow crawling. I'll just put that out there. You can see it from the video. No matter how I could do the lightest finger ever, and I could even use just the trim, and it would just kind of start to jump. And I think it's because we have larger tires on here than the older version. They should have geared down that transmission just a little bit, put a smaller pinion on it, or underdrove the portals. We do have a set of underdrive actually. While we're at a Team Garage hack, one of the guys is like, "Hey, you need some underdrives for those? I got an extra set." So he threw us some underdrive gears, which is going to be awesome. So we'll underdrive the front on here. That should help a little bit, but we're probably going to go brushless on this guy regardless. So that'll totally change it. And then that gearing is almost irrelevant. It'll have plenty of low-end torque and slow modulation. Worst case, again, you can always change the pinion to something a tad smaller. You just don't want to lose too much wheel speed, but it all depends on what you're doing. If you're trailing, this guy is perfect. He's going to have plenty of speed to trail, and you can walk. It's going to go faster than you can walk. So that's huge. It's got tons of lights, so it's awesome at nighttime. Whenever we go to like Axial Fest, I've been to Axial Fest East, Axial Fest West, Proline by the Fire, Beat the Creek, USTE back when they had that, all those events. And one of the fun things of all those events, one of the most fun things is the night runs, going out and running at night. And these things are awesome at night because they have so much light. They got the headlights, the rock lights, the top light bar here, and they just light it up so you can see. And we always have a blast running the UTB18s out there at the different events at night. So definitely a cool rig in that regard for trailing and stuff. Night runs, awesome. Awesome. The four-wheel steer just pushes it to the next level, makes it even more fun. And these wheels are so cool. So a couple guys locally hadn't seen one personally when I took it to Team Garage Hack. And they're like, "Man, those wheels and tires look fantastic." I was like, "Yeah, they're stock." And they're like, "What? Oh man, I didn't realize they came with such cool stock wheels." And again, that's only on the four-wheel steer version. So if you're looking for these, got to get the four-wheel steer. Plus, I mean, it's just worth it. By the time you take your normal Capra UTB18 and you try to put a rear axle on it and the servo and all that stuff, you're going to basically be at the price for this guy or beyond. So if you're going to do four-wheel steer, you might as well do this. And again, it comes with a separate ESC receiver. So if you want to swap out to a different transmitter that's got four-wheel steer set up how you want, maybe you want to do rear only, like independent, completely independent of the front, so you can turn the front and turn the rear independently, then you would need a different transmitter setup. But you can easily just swap it and keep everything else the way it is. Just put it in a new receiver and your new remote and you're good to go. So yeah, definitely really well done the way they did this guy. Like I said, that separate ESC receiver, big compared to a 2-in-1. I really hate the 2-in-1s. At least if you're going to do a 2-in-1, put a channel 2 so you can go brushless. But even then, I'd rather just see separated ESC and receiver. And yeah, everything else is seeming good. Definitely dig this guy. It's super fun to run four-wheel steer. Just needs more low-end modulation. Need a little bit more granular on that low end. Maybe a one tooth less pinion would be good. Anyway, guys, things fun. If you're looking for a cool, something bigger than all the other 18s out there, something that's more almost closer to 10 scale. Again, we did a whole video talking about the scale on this guy. It's a 113.8 if you want to know the actual scale. I think I mentioned that earlier. So it is larger than all the other 18 scales out there. You're not going to be able to run it in any competitions that run for 18 scales. 18, 24 scale, like RCMCCA, all those rule sets, you're just you can run it, but you're not going to make the gates. It's just way too big. There are mini classes out there that run these guys, or at least run the axle width and stuff like that, and they build them up. It's basically like a mini 10 scale. It's a mini class. But yeah, it's 113.8, 114 scale. We call it the UTB18 around here, but it doesn't make it any less awesome. The truck is amazing, and the platform is super fun. It's probably one of my more favorite platforms, just from a size standpoint. It's like it's not quite a 10 scale, but it can do a lot more than the normal 18 scales. So if you're looking for something to run outside pretty much exclusively, that's not a 10 scale, that's smaller, these guys are it. If you're looking for something to run inside, it's going to be too big for that. Anyway, huge shout out to all of our channel members. These guys over here get to see these videos before anybody else and without ads. They also get priority comment replies. They get extra entries in the giveaways we do. They have a special channel in our Discord, which, by the way, if you're into Discord, join that. It's down in the description below. But yeah, being a channel member helps support the channel, and you get a bunch of perks. So definitely check that out if you're interested in supporting. You also get your name over here at the end of videos sometimes. So yeah, that's cool too. Also, make sure you guys just click that subscribe button. It's just a click for you. It means the world to me. Helps support the channel. And then also like and share and notification bell. All those things. And until next time, get out there and build something awesome. Just like we're going to do with this guy. We're going to totally upgrade it, tear it down, build something awesome, build a new car, build a new course, build a community to run all that stuff with. It's what the hobby's about. And then smash it, crash it, and bash it. Race, crawl, bash, all those awesome things. Just don't break the expensive parts. Peace.